So you almost always want to start red buff, or I should say bottom side buff. With Lee Sin specifically, I like starting red buff and then doing a level 2 invade. It just works so often. Xin Zhao is a little bit harder to invade, so you might not want to do that. With Lee Sin, you can start Q or E. Both are completely fine. I think you take a little bit less damage from the creep camp with E. I like to start Doran's only because I invade a lot and I make it a very player versus player oriented game. But if you're planning on farming the jungle a lot, then I think not doing that is completely fine. We'll see where it goes. As for lanes, oh, I forgot Thresh and Ez are on their team. Okay, so Lee Sin really good at ganking Leona lanes. If you time it properly, Leona, and if you know that Leona's aggressive, she's gonna pull herself in a lot and pretty much just get her ass beat. He should already be chugging potions right now, and it looks like he is, so that's good. Like I said, I think E saves you a little bit of health there. Let me turn this volume down a little bit so it's not competing with me. I don't want to have any doubts. So obviously, if you're not invading, this is the default where you're going to go. You want to gauge lanes right now. Lee Sin doesn't really need to pay attention to creep camps. This isn't an aggressive lane, but it will become an aggressive lane when they start getting level 2. This should be an aggressive lane. It looks like you're going to have 3 aggressive lanes. So Lee Sin's going to be really effective with lane ganks in this matchup. We'll see. Yeah, Jinx, Lucian, and I think Tristana are actually... Well, Tristana's underrated, underused. See what I mean? Aggressive lane. These guys are going to be using their escapes to trade a lot. Especially most fizzes max their E first. And then most people just get really aggressive on Singe's. And Singe is actually pushing, so let's talk about that real fast. Singe is pushing, and you know that he almost always is going to be starting blue here. That means he's going to be doing blue, wolves, red, and almost always ganking the most overextended lane. So as Lee Sin, I'm going to counter gank that shit 100% of the time. The problem is Singed isn't that good at taking people down in a counter gank, but he's just really safe. If he fights it well, he's going to do a lot of collateral damage without taking too much damage. So what I'm going to do is, as soon as I get this blue buff, it looks like you're a little bit slow to it. Oh, you actually did. You're a little slow because you did a small camp in between, which I don't really like. You're gonna get here late for this this counter gank a lot of the times. So definitely, especially when you're against an aggressive guy like, if you're a more farm heavy jungler like Udyr, I can see you doing 2 small camps in between. But if you're not, then if you're a more aggressive champ like Lee Sin, I would definitely try to be getting up here a little bit faster. They're not really aggressive enough to warrant an overt gank, but as long as you're in the area or you warn him or something like that Xin Zhao is probably coming, then, you know, you should be good to go. Xin Zhao might not show up. You're going to be able to gauge it. Like, if Jack starts amping up his aggression, since he's been farming this much, if he's been farming this much right now, and all of a sudden he switches and starts trading more, he's probably got a gank coming. But right now, Xin Zhao might not see a reason to gank Singe just because Jax hasn't really worked on him at all. But if I'm Xin Zhao, I'm thinking, hey, we have a Jax stun, hey, we have my knock-up, hey, Singe has no escape. Pretty easy gank to get him from full health. And see how he starts trading a little bit? There you go. He started trading a little bit, and guess what? Xin Zhao's there. So you did manage to get there in time. And you can see Xin Zhao's at a slight disadvantage here, and Singed is also pushing. So when Singed is pushing, that's going to allow you to be more aggressive, because it means Singed is more likely to have your back than Jax is, to have Xin Zhao's back. So pressure really limits the option of laners. It makes them make bad decisions. At the same time, I'm not fully convinced Xin Zhao's going away. So I'm gonna give my ward here just for some lane security. That way I can go farm. Unless you're really thinking that he's gonna counter gank or something, or gank or something like that, then you can float around a little bit. Either way, I think warding's the safe thing to do. You're not gonna need it for the utility too much. Yeah, here we go. So you're in a really bad spot because these guys are gonna get what I call micro isolation on you, where they're beating on you for even if it's just 1 second, 2 seconds. This early phase of the game, they have you completely cut off. So you just need to disengage here as fast as possible. You could, if you reacted quicker, you could Q to him and then jump to the creeps. But at this point, I'm convinced he's coming to ward, and you need to just bail out of there as soon as possible. Give me 1 second. Always avoid. You were offline. Excuse me. Okay, so like I said, even if you avoid micro isolation at all costs, good players are going to be taking advantage of this and turning it into kills. So I like that you got out of there. This pressure is still building up top. Say Xin Zhao were a little bit weaker. Say we're like a tougher jungler, like a Pantheon that takes a little bit more collateral from camps. Sometimes you can use this to invade here. with the singed pressure that's building up, and Zed's probably, no, actually no, Zed's getting out pushed here. So sometimes you can turn this into an invade opportunity. You can assume that he's probably going to golems or coming over to gank middle maybe. So I like if you're going to raid the raids here and to scout it out, you have that ward available. Oh, nice, and you're coming in while the E's on cooldown. Nice. W to him maybe. Nice. Yeah, take a stab. Yeah, good. Very good gank there. Yeah. Nice execution. Now you got to be thinking, what's the best thing to do? And in this spot, I think you have enough security between the two of you to push this out safely, especially if you ward. When Zed's shadow comes up, he's going to be a little bit harder to kill than most people are going to expect, as long as he plays it properly. But you can expect that Xin Zhao is going to come down here and cover this lane. You just want to push it to the turret as soon as possible. And after you do that, you can maybe counter jungle if you want to, or you can just gank uncontested bottom. Both are good options, or you can just default to a more passive farm route. All of those are okay, but you definitely just want to push this to your turret as soon as possible. I don't care what your Zed is saying here, you need to be here, you need to be farming this, you need to be pushing. So if he's pinging you back, or I don't know if it's you pinging him back, you're probably pinging him back there. That's a good call. My head's underwater. Sorry, I can't sing. Okay, so you're already in a good position to gank. See, here's a mistake. You're already in a good position to gank through what's usually a less warded route. This is what I call a really obvious gank, but you might as well do it anyway. This bottom lane's trading a lot. You have a lot of potential between Thresh, so you might as well come the more likely to be unwarded way. I'll reveal the map real fast. Looks like surprisingly this is actually warded. This is an uncommon warded spot, but it doesn't really matter because once this ward sees you, you're already in position. You're already behind them. Whereas if you come through here, you're kind of running at them, and them retreating is going to be more effective. So by coming in behind them, sometimes it just doesn't even matter if they have wards. You know what I mean? It looks like, see, they're disengaging now, and that's a different pattern of the playstyle that they were just playing, so I'm not even going to float around here. I'm going to assume either A, they had that bush warded, which would have been a wrong assumption, but somehow they know that I'm coming. So yeah, default to farming, that's good. Fizz is missing, but he should show up soon. You just want to keep counts. Sin's eating a little bit too much collateral there, kind of an awkward trade by him. But as soon as he hits 6, he should be good to go to just sustain that lane and farm. So Xin Zhao's not really getting ganks off right now. You want to be looking for where he's going to gank. I'd be assuming that he's probably bottom side jungle. I think I'm actually, yeah, I'd be assuming he's probably bottom side jungle. It looks like he actually is at his wolves right now. So you want to kind of be floating in the area looking for counter ganks, especially when guys like Zed. This Zed keeps using his W to harass/trade a lot, and that means it's an aggressive lane, and that means it's also a risky lane because it's unwarded and he's using his escape a lot to trade. So you floating around here is optimal. Floating around even the wolves camp is optimal, and you want to be communicating with them, being like, "Hey, you're probably the gank target. I don't think they're gonna gank up here. This is a pretty secure lane unless Xin Zhao lane ganks, but even then, Thresh is a pretty hard lane to gank. So I'm gonna pretty much put my insurance on Zed here because I think he's going to be the gank target. He's the most pushed, he's the most vulnerable, and he's also trying to trade the most. Like, look how close. Look at this. This is a really risky thing he's doing right here, and you're going to be giving him insurance by staying in this area. He's using his first of all, I think his flash is down. His flash is down, and he's using his escape to trade under turret with a fizz while it's unwarded. That's just super risky behavior by him. And check it out on the map right now. There's an on the way ping by Xin Zhao right now. I mean, you obviously don't see that in game, but I'm just saying that, you know, the logic there is confirmed. And then the other option is get down here. If they manage to stay in this lane, you want to get down here. If they get out without a kill there, that's a pretty bad flash by Ezreal there. You don't want to ever flash for defensive summoners like that. Okay, so I was about to say, I didn't see Xin Zhao rolling up, but as soon as you see a low health Fizz picking a fight that he can't win, you know he's ganking. If you are this Zed, you probably have to disengage in this direction if your shadow's on even if your shadow's off cooldown. Disengage, use a spinning slash to slow, book it, like Steve Johnson. But as soon as I see Xin Zhao on the map, I'm booking it over here. You're gonna turn this into a double kill a lot of time if you can get here in time. I think you're like a little bit slow on the reaction, and you definitely shouldn't be trying to finish this camp. You are going. Good. No, don't fight it. Keep running. Oh, if you kept running, you would have been okay. This is what I'm talking about. You want this kind of chase going on right now. I think you went the wrong way because he's never going to disengage through his turret there. And the short, I don't know. I think you just need a little bit of foresight there. It's not a big mistake, but definitely looking to sweep up here. This is a fight you can pick. Both are well, he's and he's on cooldown, so it's a fight you can definitely win. Yeah, I wouldn't be too scared to fight that. Yeah, nice, nice, get in there. That was a really bad W. Yeah, keep fighting. You're gonna want to push this to turret now. I didn't even see that there. You're gonna want to push this to turret usually, or at least counter jungle. Put him in a spot where he's either forced to Okay, so you're gonna put him in a spot here where if he doesn't recall, he's gonna be low, and he's gonna be low in his jungle. I guess I didn't explain that properly. You'll have jungle control over him because A, you'll get a jump and start clearing his camps. B, you'll have more health than him. And you should eventually have an item advantage on him. You're just putting him in an awkward spot because it is right for him to come take this farm if you're pushing it to the turret. So you do want to push this to the turret if possible. You want to actually, you know, your other option was there. That wave was bigger, I think, than your wave. If the wave's bigger than your wave, you can just last hit. That way, Fizz loses more farm and Zed loses nothing. That's also an option if the enemy wave's bigger. So I should have probably mentioned that that's an okay option. And then in that case, you could just either last hit and then or go to counter jungle. With him not being here, it's a little bit bizarre. Oh, steal with the Q. That'd have been sweet. Okay, so you want to be looking at lanes. I was about to say, this Jax is, whenever you have a low health lane like this, they're always thinking, how can I kill this bastard? So, optimal time to gank. I don't think you would have got up there in time, but sometimes he'll get up there for the sloppy seconds. He might survive this. Oh! Freaking that ult, too much. And this is such a great spot when he wants to farm these last few minions. You're going to be able to get up here, especially if your ward jump up. Especially, you know, he doesn't have his flash up. I probably would have flanked there. You can use this as bait too, but I think flanking was, or coming from behind was the better option there. Or having the singed farm under turret. I mean, Jax can't do anything too tricky because his flash isn't up, so as long as that singe stays out of the lane, he's good to go there. So I think that was a little bit of a missed opportunity by you. It's interesting that these guys are trading a lot again. I think this is going to be the action lane here, the Xin Zhao action lane. They're all pretty actiony lanes, so as long as you're showing up the lane here, I think that's going to be an effective Lee Sin strategy. Looks like he's actually warding to... Nope, he's roaming to a lane that... what is he doing? Okay, so he probably thinks he started red or so. Oh, you know what? He's probably going to try and cheese him at his red. This is a pretty good strategy by him. If he wards here, then comes in like 30 seconds. As you can tell, buffs just respawn, so you want to be having some sort of plan. You have a jungle advantage and a lane advantage right now, so that's a pretty good reason to counter jungle. Especially if you coordinate with Zed and tell him to push a lot. Fizz can't deal with pushes a lot. It'll also bait ganks. And this is something I actually don't discuss too often in my videos, because I don't even really think about it that much. But you can bait ganks by telling your teammate that, like, say Zed can outpush Fizz. That's going to force Xin Zhao middle a lot, and you're going to be able to counter gank him a lot. Because you already have an edge over Xin Zhao. Zed has an edge over Fizz. That's going to where am I? That's going to, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, that's pretty much just going to make big plays and help snowball them into the ground. And your other option, I think you should almost 100% invade here and coordinate with Zed and tell him to, because you have a ward here. You can even ward over there. I mean, you just have a lot of options. You'll probably have a one level advantage too, since you're doing really effectively. You're being very effective this game. I don't really like this option at all. It's not like there's pretty much, as long as you're active in lanes, there's no terrible option, but I just really like a more aggressive, be a douche to the enemy jungler kind of strategy. That's just the type of jungler that I am. Really questionable. Don't click that lantern. I think you kind of went about that a little bit awkwardly. Bad dive, real bad dive. Okay, a couple reasons. Oh, okay, it's gonna look like hindsight, but you know that most junglers at your level are gonna be late to their buffs. But they are gonna see them, so you can expect that even if they're not late, he's gonna be on the side of the jungle farming his white or his wolves a lot of the time. But in this period, right after the buffs are respawning, especially this one, he's almost always here somewhere, within that minute. So you going this ham when you have this much of an edge for a support under the turret, hey, your gank was already successful. You don't need to dive to kill him here. This is a mistake that I used to make a lot, but it's a really, 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 really throwy, detrimental mistake. You're going to be risking losing dragon here if you lose 2 people, and you're just going to be throwing your lead. Whereas if you force these guys out of lane and your guys are in good standing, you're going to be able to turn this into a dragon just by bossing them out of lane. But by diving here, you're making this a really, really bad play. And that's all there is to it. Triple kill. Unless he gets a really good flay off here. That wasn't a good flay. He has to flay the charge. Zed makes a really good roam until he turns around. What are you doing? Q! He could still win that fight. If he fought, he could have still won that fight. He didn't fight that well. That was really ugly by him. Zed should have been able to get both kills there. Whatever, you can't expect them to play perfectly. But I think you can understand how that's a really bad play by you. That's easily the biggest mistake of the. That's going to probably be the biggest mistake of the game most of the time. When you're already ahead, you do want to be aggressive, but you don't want to be throwy. That's throwy. You're crossing the line there. I think AP Trist is good too. What do you mean? Oh, AD mid Trist? I've never done that before. I'd do like AD Twitch or Draven middle or something like that every once in a while. You guys are lacking in the vision department. I mean, Thresh should be able to cover the bottom lane, but you want to be trying to snag wards and put them out as you can. I like that you're coming up here right now, but I would have preferred lane ganking here, because you should utilize the lane gank way more. Don't use the river unless you're sure it's not warded. Don't use the river that often. You see that Jax is trying to trade with Singed a lot, so it's just going to be really easy to bait. Just come up through lane, make him use his jump onto him, and then he's screwed. Absolutely screwed. What I like to do is put the Q on him and then let him run away with his dodge up, and then just step back a little bit. See what I mean? When his dodge is still up, it makes that a way harder gank. Whereas you can easily get behind him with a flip if you just come in through lane gank. As you show up there, you should expect Xin Zhao to eventually come up. Ah, nice. Okay, he's a little slow there though. He rewarded. Okay, you guys are getting in a kind of awkward spot, but you do have the advantage because Singed is in more of a position to help than Jax is. So making a play here is kind of okay. You just have to be decisive and know that your advantage lies in Singed or creating micro isolation. Those are your two options. But when you're lurking outside of a bush here for so long, okay, actually no, Fizz is on the map, so you're good to go now. This is okay too, but the problem is it's going to be expected a lot of times. So you want to have some sort of vision. If you're trying to dive here, you want to have some sort of vision. If you're just trying to push, that's just perfectly fine. I think it's a good rotation. But you want to have vision here to help you make your decision easier. Ah. Yeah, I mean, it's just a good play. Because you're really manipulating the map here really well. So even though they're responding appropriately, you're just kind of like putting them in a checkmate kind of position. I probably would have pursued that turret a little bit more. I mean, you have really good wave clear between you guys, and you already had them cut off from the turret, so that's going to force them to make really shitty either shitty engage. They're already at a disadvantage. They're not going to want to engage, and you're not even losing a turret there. It's what I call a free roll, where you're not giving up anything, but you're gaining a lot, or you're gaining something at least. It's a small scale free roll. Yeah, definitely taking this. Is this music too loud or anything? Let me know. I hope it's not. I don't think it will be. Let's see. Whenever my friends play, they try to. I don't really think in solo queue that mixing up the damage is that important. Most of the games are decided in the first 15 minutes anyway. There obviously are a lot of throws, but I don't think damage is comp. And a lot of people just don't even build properly, especially in bronze. See, this is what I'm talking about. Leona has to pull in and engage hard, so that means she's really good to come in the lane gank. Say you're floating right back here. Obviously, you're not going to be right now. You have other obligations. But this Zed's going to be able to time that perfectly and just blow this Leona up. Or now he can blow Zed, I don't know why you didn't that was really poorly executed by you. They had enough cleave damage where they should have been able to win that, especially if Ezreal just blanket damaged off the bat. That's gonna make them play less safely. Oh, good heal bait. Oh, the heal bait's good. Kick his ass into the turret. Yeah, I was gonna say you can't fuck that up. There's no way you can fuck that up. Nice play, nice play. I like that kick. We're gonna give this another few minutes and see what happens. Very contested game right now, but this is low gold, by the way. Yeah, I mean, this is very contested. You have a few options here. They're both on death timers right now, so, and your lanes are gonna get out here faster. You could start a dragon, especially I think you did a elder lizard build, so that's gonna make it easier to kill objectives without eating as much damage. So this between this creep pressure and your guys getting back to lane, I think this is a good dragon opportunity. So you should go prep and get wards out and then set up for it. You know, you have one ward, so one ward right there, one ward right there, like whatever side you think they're gonna come from. And look, Zed's even pressuring, so you gotta communicate with the Zed, hey, shove, like. And he also bullied that Fizz out of lane, so this is perfect. Yeah, nice. I would have used my ward, though. The good thing is Lee Sin can pretty much solo it, but he's not going to need to solo it. And he can disengage pretty well. Put your lantern down, buddy. Yeah. Good job. That's a good turnaround for you guys. That's going to put you in the driver's seat. So now you just need to keep the pressure up. You guys have gold advantage. You guys have a map advantage. You're winning most of your lanes. They actually, what are they thinking right now? I don't think they got words out just now, so I think if you guys all just came down through the river, you could have just fisted them. Give them the old fist. What they want, I don't know. We're all revved up and ready to go. Nice ward jump. I think you were a little bit shallow in it, but it's still effective. Yeah, you're getting a good kill here. Zed shouldn't even come down. There's no reason. You guys need to start shifting around, pushing lanes. Wait, what? What? How the hell did Ezreal? Well, I need to see that. Ezreal shouldn't have died. I don't know how the hell he managed to die. Oh! Oh, and the minions! That shouldn't happen! Danya! That should never happen, but whatever. I just didn't expect that. I mean, I guess that's what the position he was in. He just didn't expect that. We'll give this to your next big death or next big play, and we'll see what happens. So let's hope it's a big play. But you're controlling the map really well right now, and that's what you need to keep doing. Oh, okay. So you see that he just warded here, and this is what you should be doing. Like, you're not gonna catch him doing this all the time, but you need to be constantly looking up around the map. Like, just face roll your buttons. Like, don't even like Alt W, self cast, like just E. Stuff like that, and just like look real fast, throw your Q. Obviously, you don't want to face roll too hard or burn all your energy on Lee, but I mean, just make sure you're looking at lanes all the time and picking up, because you'll pick up this kind of stuff. Heavy roamers like Fizz, he can't roam in this matchup because he's losing. But heavy roamers, I don't know why I'm playing with my nipple. I apologize. But heavy roamers, you can pick them off in the river a lot of time. I like that you have this pink ward. You guys are controlling the map really well right now, and you're gonna be able to use that to make big plays. You have bot pressured. Bot looks like they're. I was going to say that it looks like they're freezing. They probably should have tried to freeze right now, but then your response would be shove this turret. So right now you just need to keep snowballing this lead. You know, actually, did their buffs already come out? I think the buffs might have already. Their red buff might be up soon. I don't know, unless you just got it. You want to be with your team. Whenever your team's trying to make plays and push, like Thresh is here, I think Ezreal was there. You want to be supporting them and pushing. You don't want to be farming the jungle. Pressure is best when it's simultaneous and distributed throughout the map. In some sort of effective fashion. So if you have 4 people pushing, you don't want to be farming the jungle. You want to be pushing. Looks like they were trying to set up for dragon here. It's a really awkward kind of fight for you guys, so you might not want to be looking for it. You probably could have cut off Fizz and kind of turn around that isolation that they were creating on them, but that option's gone now. Ez should be able to safely farm this, and that's going to allow you to put pressure on this map here. And yeah, check it out. You're taking advantage of it. You want to be warding this bush a lot, though. Your ward's not up right now. I don't know if you've really been grabbing wards as you go back, but with so many people missing on the map right now, it can be kind of dangerous to be farming right here. It's better to at least be on this side of the wall, or communicate with your teammates. Be like, hey, like ping where you are or something like that. Maybe not that, but just be ready to disengage if you don't have a ward up. Just adjust to the game. But I would be really working this middle turret right now. You guys have map control by a long shot, especially a minute ago. Let's speed this up a little bit. I want to get to a play. Yeah, I mean, this is a good play. Just keep putting pressure throughout the map, especially if you can get Zed to roam up there with you. Zed putting pressure is the next best thing, but if you can get him to roam up there with you, it's even better. As soon as I see him disengaging that hard and not trying to trade, I know that it's warded. That also means that they know the general area where you are. Fizz and Xin Zhao are MIA, and Jax looks like he's disengaging in this direction. So this might be a really bad counter jungle attempt by you. So yeah, I mean, you did it in a pretty safe fashion. I don't like just warding the bush because it lets him know that you're there. I'd honestly rather face check and then disengage with the kick there or something like that. You want to have some sort of plan, but warding just gives him the the edge. It takes like an extra second, but you keep that unknown factor rolling. But you guys, your biggest problem right now is you aren't snowballing. Like you had the ability to snowball, and you're going to be against a late game comp with Fizz, Jax, hyper carries. Um, Actually, you guys have some pretty good carries too, but I don't know. It's just you need to be pressuring when you're ahead right now. And you had map control. Interesting that he used that to trade. Good counter gank here. I would have flowed back harder and baited it. The thing is, if you float back too far, you're going to create micro isolation on your Zed. Don't E there. Okay, so let's go back to that. It's just like a little mechanical thing to work on. Or don't Q, excuse me. You want to be Eing. Okay, speed it up, speed it up, speed it up. So he's coming at you at an angle. I don't even think he's okay. So let's give you an example. Let's see. Let me. Okay. So chances are his screen's like this. He might not even see you. He honestly might not even see you. It could be like this, but for whatever reason he's running right past you, and not giving a shit. So he's gonna be running through here, and even if he sees you, you want to run up and E first. It's gonna make it be more high percentage, and you're gonna be able to. I don't know. It's just gonna be the most effective strategy, in my opinion. There's no point to throwing a Q here. Check it out. You're in E range. And you're going to have micro isolation if the Zed responds faster. As is, this is actually going to be a kind of close fight, and it's going to depend on the mechanics. Especially the fact with once you miss your Q, a lot of your damage is in your Q because you made that your biggest spell. So your damage is front loaded in that Q. So you want to, like I said, you want to make sure you hit it. If you can, you want to like do everything you can to hit it. At this point, you missed it, and now it's time to disengage. And he did some good blanket damage there, so that's good. Let's speed this up a little bit. I want a big play. I don't want to leave without a big play. You know that Xin just disengaged in this direction, so I would be warning the bottom lane, especially since they're the most shoved lane, that they're the most likely to be ganked. Keep communicating with your teammates, especially when it's not really worded that well here. Check it out. There it is. Missed opportunity. So yeah, when something like this happens, you have to damage control. Okay, so you have to use the fact that they have 3 people here to make something happen elsewhere. You can't be farming your own jungle right now. Obviously you're going to finish off that blue, but as soon as you finish off that blue, you need to push this weakened lane, because Fizz is vulnerable right now. You can tower dive a Fizz. It's not that hard to do. He's at a level disadvantage, and you have an assassin, like Zed, who's really good at killing people under turrets. So, I would personally, you need to get pressure on the map right now to respond to this. At the very least, you want to counter jungle, but I don't think that's a good strategy here. I think you should be pushing. So at least they got one person dead there. But you need to take an aggressive stab here. He's burning too much of his energy, so when he ults, he's not going to have enough of his energy. Yeah, I think shoving is the best option here, by a long shot. So missed opportunity again, and I think that's probably another pretty considerable mistake there. See what I mean? Like, look how much damage he can do safely under a turret. Oh, good play. You don't even need to do ult there, but it's good that he did. But yeah, you just need to get pressure on the map. They just dumped like everything they had. Like, check it out. Xin Zhao couldn't be doing this if you were there. Yeah, I don't know. E again. So yeah, another missed opportunity. Biggest mistake of the. So we'll end right there, because that was probably the biggest would-be play there. Damage control. Something bad happens, you got to mitigate the losses. And make the best of the situation, and you didn't do that there. So that's your second biggest mistake of the game. The other one was tower diving. Even if you don't know if Xin Zhao's in the area, it's an unnecessary / bad risk. You want safe aggression, controlled aggression, counter jungling with a disengage plan, stuff like that. Tower diving, that's fine if the circumstances are right, but the circumstances weren't right there. So next thing, mitigate losses. Like I said, mitigate bad situations by making the best of it. Third thing is, I guess knowing where like Xin Zhao's going. You're at gold, so I wouldn't give this tip to a bronze or a silver player as much. But you're gold, so you need to start like taking your jungle from the fundamentals to the intermediate level. So you want to start, predicting where Xin Zhao's going to go. And I'm not trying to brag or anything, but I was spot on pretty much all game here where he's going. And you can do that if you just think about it. It's really not that hard. You just need to make observations, make inferences, and just predict where he's going to be. Like, think where you would be. He's probably doing the same thing. You guys are the same level junglers. You guys are probably equivalent or similar in your thinking. So wherever you would be is probably where he's going to be, and you use that to your advantage. things like buffs, things like objectives like dragon, things like pressure, things like aggression. All four of those things, if you think about them together, you can almost always predict where the enemy jungler is. Um, so I think should be a good focus area for you. And then just avoiding those other mistakes and really pushing. And okay, that's the third biggest thing. So whatever I said before, the third biggest thing is when you gain an edge, you need to snowball with it. You need to put more pressure on the map. And you didn't do that. You were farming your own jungle. You were a little bit more passive. You weren't pushing lanes when you could. This turret you could have pushed just now. This turret you could have pushed earlier when you had them cut off. Stuff like that is controlled aggression. It's snowbally, and it's just very good for your team and your game. So those three things focus on. And then I think your mechanics are pretty good for the most part, so you don't even need to worry about that. Yeah, so I'll leave you with that. Pretty happy how this one came out. Let me know what you guys think. I'll be posting this one on YouTube. You gave me an unhappy face in chat, so I'm assuming that means you lost, so that's unfortunate, but I think you could have won. I think this game was in your control and in your capacity to win. So yeah, just work on the